Make a joyful noise unto the Lord, all ye lands. Serve the Lord with gladness. Come before his presence with singing. Know ye that the Lord is God. It is he that has made us, and not we ourselves. We are his people and the sheep of his pasture. So we enter his gates with thanksgiving in our hearts. We enter his courts with praise. Be thankful unto him and bless his name. For the Lord is good. His mercy is everlasting, and his truth endureth to all generations. Lord, for the gift of healing, we thank you. Lord, for the hope of wholeness, we thank you. Lord, for the privilege of presence in this place this morning, we thank you. Lord God, as we gather in this place, we ask that you would once again just send your Holy Spirit down to dwell in this house. Come dwell in our hearts. Lord, prepare us to hear your word, to receive your word, to believe your word, that we might go live your word in a way that someone else might see you and be healed. We pray these things in the healing name of Jesus. We pray these things in the loving name of Jesus. We pray these things in the saving name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen, amen, and amen.
Our hymn of the morning is It Is Well, hymn number 255. It Is Well, hymn number 255.
When peace Amen. Good morning, Union Baptist Church. Amen. It's good to see you, siblings in Christ. You may be seated. I'm here once again to share the morning announcements with you. I don't know how, but September is almost over. Fall is here. So as these weeks keep flying by, I want to give you these announcements so you can get the most out of these days and weeks as we move forward throughout our year. Wednesday night Bible study will be back this week at 7 p.m. Pastor Spencer will be leading a series entitled, We're Not Going Back. Amen. So please join us for that time of fellowship and learning. Both the Tuesday noon and Wednesday night Bible studies are accessible via the Zoom login information in the announcement reel and the email updates. And mark your calendars for the upcoming in-person Bible study with yours truly beginning Saturday, October 5th at 10 a.m. here in the sanctuary. We'll be going through 1 Corinthians. Ladies, this week will end with the women's in-house retreat on September 28th from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. here at the church. The program will begin promptly at 9 p.m. and registration is now closed and there will be no tickets sold at the door. We ask you to hold close in prayer to all of those who are sick and shut in, as well as the bereaved families of our congregation. Please include Sister Miranda Jackson in the passing of her mother. These services were held here last Monday. We regret to announce the passing of Brother David Spalding's father, David Spalding Sr., in Whiteville, Virginia. Those services will be held on Saturday, September 28th, 11 a.m. at Union Baptist Church in Lake Waccana, Virginia. We also lift in prayer the family of Sister Shirley Askew. They truly need your prayers because in the time between her passing and the planning of her service, her brother also passed away. So both of their lives will be celebrated and remembered in a double funeral here at the church this Thursday, September 26th, viewing from 9 to 11 and service at 11. While we've mentioned these by name, please know that our prayers, love, and deepest sympathies go out to all the sick and bereaved families of our congregation. And lastly, I have an announcement from the Deacons Ministry of the church. They would like to congratulate Trustee Jerry McClure on being named Union Baptist Church's honoree for Outstanding Christian Service for 2024. Amen. Is Jerry here today? Jerry in the house, all right. We thank God for your service, Jerry, and you will be recognized at the Deacons Union of Trenton and Vicinity Annual Legacy and Scholarship Awards Luncheon on Saturday, September 28th, 2024, at Mercer Oaks Golf Course in West Windsor, New Jersey. This program is presented by the Deacons Union of Trenton and Vicinity, of which Union is a member, and Deacon Gregory Johnson, the president. For over 40 years, the Deacons Union has awarded scholarships to graduating seniors of the participating churches. And we also congratulate Naja Nelson of Union for receiving a $400 scholarship award. We wish the best for Naja as she attends college. And with these announcements being said, please welcome our pastor, Senior Reverend Spencer.
Beloved of God, good morning. Thank you, Reverend Stokes. Thank you, Reverend Boots. Amen. Amen. I thank God for you. The Lord sent you this way, and you have been a blessing to our ministry. And not only a blessing to our ministry, but you got me thinking about buying me some boots. Amen. We'll see. I might not wear them as well as you, but I will rock them if I get them. Amen. It is good to be in the house of the Lord, and it is good to still be alive. Amen. Amen. I say to you always, if you wake up in the morning, God has been good to you. Amen. If you wake up, it's a sign that God is not finished with you yet. Don't you give up. Don't you quit. Don't you throw in the towel. Eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, neither has it entered into your heart the good things that the Lord has in store for you. I trust that you will, again, take a look at the announcements in the reel, govern yourselves accordingly. Thank you for the reminders. We do want to just reiterate a couple of things. Dave, I didn't expect to see you in church today, but you are here, and we want you to know that we are praying with you and for your family in the loss of your father. Amen. This is exactly where you need to be on a day like this. Amen. This is exactly where you need to be, and your church family is lifting you up, and know that we will, of course, talk again before next Saturday. Amen. I didn't know when I looked geographically, you grew up on the coast, did you not? That's how come you're such a good fisherman. Amen. That brother, he and Curtis, they go fishing, and they sometimes just bless the pastor with all kind of porgies and black bass and, all that good stuff that makes your grease hop and pop and say, thank you, Jesus. Amen. So, Dave, we are praying for you, and know that God will be with you, as well as all who walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Now, as we come toward the end of September, we know that in October, it is our tradition here to observe Cancer Awareness. It is specifically Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but because cancer is so pervasive and so many people are touched and impacted by the reality of that disease, we generally just observe all cancers. We give encouragement, we raise awareness during the month of October. But I want to take a moment now, because September is specifically Prostate Awareness Cancer Month. Amen. I'm going to ask every brother in here who doesn't mind testifying, if you were a survivor of prostate cancer, stand. Amen. 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 God bless you. And there's some that I know who are not here today, but I thank God for your testimonies. And in the spirit of this being Cancer Awareness Month, I've asked Brother Paul D. Ashley, who has been very active in raising awareness in this community and beyond. As a matter of fact, he just got back. He's Glennis's homeboy. He just got back from Michigan, where they were doing an awareness event there. And I'm just going to ask him to come now and speak to us briefly to raise awareness, because this is something, brothers, that we need to be mindful of. We brothers have a tendency to think that we are invincible, amen. And we don't, unless we have to go to the doctor, unless we drop, sometimes we avoid going to the doctor. So I want you to listen, and I want you to be certainly aware, and I want you to take care of yourself. Amen. Take good care of yourself. Come on, won't we welcome Paul as he comes? Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Spencer, and good morning, Union. So, as he said, my name is Paul Ashley, and I am a prostate cancer survivor. I was diagnosed in the spring of 2021 and had my surgery that summer, and thank God, so far, I've been cancer-free. But, thank you. But I do want to stress the importance, because this affects Black men more than any other cancer. Almost 20% of Black men will develop prostate cancer in their lifetime. Let me say that again, 20%. And Black men are twice as likely, and I'm going to say that time again, twice as likely to die from prostate cancer. Part of it is they don't get diagnosed in time. You take this last year, Dexter King, O.J. Simpson, both died from prostate cancer. And while I don't know their medical history, you wonder, did they get diagnosed in time? The diagnosis is a simple blood test. It's called the PSA test. So, I want to encourage all the brothers and all the men the sisters in their lives, because they'll do it if you nudge them, right? Amen. So please ask them to get an annual physical and to include in that annual physical a PSA test. It can save their life. So please, let's get tested, brothers. Thank you.
Again, get tested. And just because I'm telling you, I'm not just telling you to do something I don't do. I got my results Tuesday, and I'm good. Amen. To God be the glory. To God be the glory. I went to the doctor, and cholesterol was good. Amen. Blood pressure was good. All of the other stuff from the blood work was good. The only thing he said, you're doing fine, lose 11 pounds. And I said, well, we're going to work on that. Amen. We're going to work on that. So you be in prayer with me and for me, because God does all things well. And he also will give you the strength sometime to push back from the table, except on Sunday. Amen. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Listen, those of you who are worshiping with us in person, of course, we thank God for your presence. If you are visiting today, we want you to know that we are so glad you are here. To the virtual family, welcome once again to worship. Everybody in here, just tell everybody virtually, good morning, y'all. Good morning. We feel your presence. We thank God. We see you in the stream. And if you are visiting with us from other places, won't you take a moment and just let us know where you live? Let us know that this ministry has been a blessing to you. And we thank God for you stopping this way. We realize that there are numerous, especially in these days, I call it the buffet of blessings. You can go all over the place, even from your living room. So if you have stopped here, we believe that God has something intentional for you, and we are grateful for your presence, and we thank God for your union. Let's welcome all of our guests this morning. God bless you. Now, we thank you also for your ongoing support of the work of ministry here in this church. We have made it as convenient as possible for you to give. You can give, of course, at our website, www.ubctrenton.org. You can give via Cash App. The instructions are there on the screen. You can even text in your offering. You can mail it, 301 Pennington Avenue, Trenton, New Jersey, 08618. And of course, the QR code is there on the screen to use. You can just hold your camera over it, and we will praise God for however he moves you to sow into this ministry. Please know that you are sowing into good ground. And of course, you cannot beat God giving. Never have been able to and never will be able to, no matter how you try. So thank you again for your ongoing gifts. Those of us who are worshiping in person, remember that as you exit the sanctuary, the ushers will be there with the baskets. We ask you to again give. Remember that the Lord loves a cheerful giver, and we thank you so much for your gifts. Brothers and sisters, I thank God for our music ministry. Amen. You all have blessed us. You are faithful. And, you've heard me say it time and time again, and I am so grateful that I don't think there's ever a time, and this is not the experience of many of my colleagues, that I've had to come to church and wonder whether or not there was going to be someone there to lead music. Amen. We are blessed, and I thank God for each and every one of you, our minister of music, Brother John Williams, as well as all of our accompanists. We thank you. And I'm glad to see our sound guy. Good morning, Jackson. How are you, man? Sunday before last, I think it was, we were here. It was the first Sunday I was back after being on leave, and there was no Jackson, and nobody knew what had happened to Jackson, and we knew that it was very unusual. Jackson had been rushed to the hospital. But whatever it is, young man, I'm glad you're good. Amen. Amen. I'm glad you're good. And it's good to see you, and we thank God for you. I was talking to one of our trustees, and I think Deacon Nelson too, and I just was reflecting, and I said, a preacher is nothing but a voice. John the Baptist said, I'm the voice of one crying in the wilderness. So when you have somebody that's going to help your voice, amen, that's a blessing, amen. You lose the voice and you lose the vocation. So I thank God for you. Brothers and sisters, it's good for us to be here. I ain't got nothing much else to say. If I do have it, I'll think about it later. And if I don't think about it later, somebody will make it up and tell you anyway. Amen? Amen. It's good to see you. Come on, let us stand and greet our brothers and sisters in Christ. You come on back. We are one in the Spirit of the Lord. We are one in the Spirit of the Lord. Spirit of the Lord. Amen. God bless you. The ensemble is going to prepare to come and lead us in the music of preparation. I do want to take a minute and just circle back one thing. Jerry, that is such a deserving recognition. Amen. Brother Jerry McClure has served this. I found him here serving, and he has always served. And Jerry, we thank God for you. Amen. We thank God for you. And then let me say this. I want to say this because it moved me. It really did move me. When I went into my office this morning, there was an envelope there, and it just said, for pastor's daughter and new baby. It was anonymous. I don't know who did it. I don't know where it came from. But there was a significant amount of change in that envelope. And I immediately texted Sarah and said, somebody wanted you to have this. I will make sure that you get it. And I just want to say to this community of faith, thank you so much for loving on us down through the years. Amen. You didn't and you don't have to do it, but I thank you for that. Amen. Sarah was baptized in this church. That child, this is the only church that she has ever known. Only church, really, well, 3 of our children have known, and the only church Erica really had a significant amount of time and connection with. We started off in D.C., but this has been home, and you have treated us like family, and I thank God for you. God bless you. Thank you, whoever it is. Amen. Whoever it is, much appreciated, and I will be sure that she gets it. I wanted to say that publicly. God bless you. Amen.
Till
Father, we thank you that you are able to do anything but fail. Thank you that you are still in the fixing business. You're still fixing broken bodies and fixing broken hearts and fixing broken situations, fixing broken minds. God, thank you that you can make the wounded whole. And so now, oh God, as we come to declare your word, fix it for us, Jesus. Lord, I pray that you take all that I am, all that I'm not, and Lord, use me in your service. Do it not for my name's sake, but do it for Jesus' sake. Do it because somebody needs a touch from you. Do it, oh God, because someone needs to hear from you. Do it because someone needs a word that will fix them. And oh God, we will leave here better off because we passed this way. Because by your word, we got a touch. And by faith, oh God, we can go back into the world rejoicing in you, the God of our salvation, with our own testimony that you're able to fix it. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen and amen. Thank you, ensemble. God bless you. Come with me this morning to the Old Testament, to the book of Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 56. And I'm just going to read verses 3 through 8 from the New Revised Standard Version. It says this: "Do not let the foreigner join to the Lord say, the Lord will surely separate me from his people. And do not let the eunuch say, I am just a dry tree. For thus says the Lord to the eunuchs who keep my Sabbaths, who choose the things that please me and hold fast my covenant, I will give in my house and within my walls a monument and a name better than sons and daughters. I will give them an everlasting name that shall not be cut off. And the foreigners who join themselves to the Lord to minister to him, to love the name of the Lord and to be his servants, all who keep the Sabbath and do not profane it and hold fast my covenant, these I will bring to my holy mountain and make them joyful in my house of prayer. Their burnt offerings and their sacrifices will be accepted on my altar. For my house shall be called a house of prayer for all peoples. Thus says the Lord God, who gathers the outcast of Israel. I will gather others to them besides those already gathered." Let the church say amen. Here ends the reading of the scripture. You may be seated. Again from verse 7b. "For my house shall be called a house of prayer for all peoples." That's all I want to talk about. A house of prayer for all people. Y'all know what we do. Grab your neighbor by the hand. Amen. Look him in the face. If you don't want to touch him, I know it's still out here, but at least just look at him. Amen. Repeat after me. Neighbor, don't pass me no mint. Don't write me no notes. Don't whisper in my ear. Don't poke me. Don't hunch me. It's time for the word. I need the word. You need the word. This is a house of prayer for all people, and that includes you. I can talk to you later. Amen. Amen. I have a few musings that I hope will be a sermon. I guess y'all will let me know when it's over whether I made it or not. But this text has been on my mind house of prayer for all people. This text that was read in your hearing is a testament to the inclusive nature of God's redemptive intent for humanity. I hope that over the years we have sat with Isaiah enough times to remember that the book is penned at a time of crisis. Babylon overruns Jerusalem, and the people of Israel are conquered and deported in phases to live in exile. And so we understand that in the larger context of this text, Isaiah deals with difficult themes associated with that shameful chapter in their history. The people are warned about impending judgment because of their unfaithfulness to God. They experience the fulfillment of that judgment and become the conquered people living as exiles. But now eventually, the narrative brings us back around to God's vision of restoration and salvation. How well do we know, and how often have we heard that shift in tone that begins around chapter 40? Comfort ye, my people, says your God. Speak ye comfortably to Jerusalem, and cry unto her that her warfare is ended and her iniquity is pardoned. I want to pause there and invite us to thank God today for the many shifts in divine tone spoken over our lives down through the years as manifestations of the grace of God that blesses us in ways that we don't deserve, and the mercy of God that keeps from us so much that we do deserve. The only reason we can sing "Your grace and mercy brought me through" is because grace and mercy refuse to take us out. Amen. Thank you, Jesus. And now we are again engulfed in the depth of God's grace and mercy here as the text speaks to God's intent to extend salvation beyond Israel as a solitary people, and has a heart for a much broader redemptive plan that was not, never has been, and never will be confined to a single group. Israel is God's chosen people, but not because God abandons others. It's because a servant, that's how Christ is prophetically identified in chapter 53. Read it when you get home. It's because the servant Christ, who would come through Israel, brought a promise of salvation and blessing to all people. Do not let the foreigner joined to the Lord say, "The Lord shall surely separate me from his people." And do not let the eunuch say, "I'm just a dry tree." These, God says, will I bring to my holy mountain and make them joyful in my house of prayer. Their burnt offerings and their sacrifices will be accepted at my altar. Why? For my house shall be called a house of prayer for all peoples. Amen. In Christ, we are all chosen, and not just Israel. I wish some of these hyper evangelicals would remember that in their unqualified so-called support for Israel and its right to defend itself. Yes, Hamas acted wickedly and inhumanely, and Israel has the right to defend itself and to pursue freedom for hostages. But they do not have the right to act unjustly, ignore the dignity and the value and the rights of others, or perpetuate cycles of violence and oppression in service of what really is a larger imperialistic agenda that is more about real estate than it is about peace. More about what they want and less about what's right for all people involved. Whether we choose him or not, all are chosen in Christ, even Palestinians. Preach, Pastor Spencer. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. And with a prophetic eye that saw Christ long before the world saw Christ, Isaiah spoke the heart of God, saying, my house, God's house, shall be called a house of prayer for all people. The Bible, it teaches us that we should always pray, doesn't it? It tells us that there is power in prayer. James 5:16, the effectual fervent prayer of a righteous person avails much. But you know what? It's funny. It's funny how, despite the fact that we need prayer and how much we need prayer, it can be both an uncomfortable and intimidating subject for some of us. A lot of people, y'all let me teach a little bit this morning. A lot of people carry a lot of baggage, spiritual and otherwise, concerning prayer. More people than you might think, amen. Now for some, that's because prayer involves opening up deeply personal and often painful feelings. And a lot of us don't do well with the big feels, amen. We shy away from them with ourselves and with others and even with God. And then for some, believe it or not, although meant to be a relief and the release of the soul, prayer can be a source of anxiety because they're worried about praying correctly, and if what they say or don't say will somehow impact how God hears and answers them. You don't have to own it, but I know I'm talking to some other people, amen. All of our lives, we've heard folks say, if you pray and you pray right, you'll get an answer. And so some of us are downright anxious praying because we are so worried about getting it right. But now worst out of all of it, and most problematic of any of it, most problematic is the way that church culture, however well-intentioned, can create an environment in which people diminish their own prayer lives by crediting others with having more ability and power to pray for them than they give themselves. Listen, don't get confused. Should we ask others to pray for us? No doubt. Is there power in touching and agreeing with prayer partners and in congregational prayer? Absolutely. But here's where it goes wrong for some of us. Here's where it gets twisted for some people. They are seduced by what is a common but subtle trick of the enemy that builds up a kind of cult of personality around others that love to call themselves, and we love to call, prayer warriors. And it happens because rooted in some of us is a deep sense of personal inadequacy concerning our prayer life. So much so that we pray with reticence rather than confidence that God will hear us just like he'll hear them. No shade or disrespect to anybody, but nobody should ever think that just because somebody wears a black suit or a white dress and a big hat and carries old peppermint in their pocketbook and sits in a certain space in church and smells like mothballs and white diamonds and Estee Lauder products, nobody should ever think that God will automatically hear them and ignore you. Nobody should ever think that just because the pastor, the bishop, the prophet, the apostle, the evangelist does not lay their hand on your head, that God will not lay his hand on your circumstances. So what you're seeing, so have they. Do you have some unresolved issues? Yeah, they got some too. Have you ever noticed how mean some of these folk are in the name of Jesus? They mistake holiness for being mean. Do you need God to move for you? So do they. Do you need God to use you? So do they. It's fine to have others pray for you, but don't you ever lack confidence in the power that you have to pray for yourself. To cry out to God for yourself. Be your own prayer warrior. God, thank you for your grace. God, thank you for your mercy. Lord, forgive me. Lord, strengthen me where I'm weak and build me up where I'm torn down. God, bless my family, bless my children, bless my children's children. Touch my body, touch my mind, touch my finances, touch my community, touch my church. Bless my going out and my coming in. Cover me in your blood. Bind the enemy. Have your way, Lord. It's not my mother. It's not my father. It's not my sister. It's not my brother, but it's me. Standing in the need of prayer. I want to remind you, child of God, you can get a prayer through. Even if all you got is, Lord, have mercy on me. It's all right. And even if you can't form the words, it's still all right. Because what you don't know, the Spirit will say. Paul said the Spirit intercedes for us with groanings cannot be expressed. Don't ever be intimidated. Don't be intimidated by prayer, especially when the Lord has said, my house shall be called a house of prayer for all people. And understand that for us on this side of Calvary, this scripture is not just talking about the temple in Jerusalem or about any buildings of brick and mortar alone. Rather, it's talking about the temple of the soul where we enter into the presence of God. It's talking about that secret place, that secret closet, that phone, as the old folks used to say, that phone that you have in your bosom. The house of prayer can be anywhere. The house of prayer could be you driving to work. The house of prayer could be sitting in a hospital room. It could be in the quiet of your bedroom, in a coffee shop, at your desk on break, walking in the woods like I like to do. The house of prayer is anywhere that you accept heaven's invitation that you can come boldly before the throne of grace. And according to this text, anybody is welcome to do just that. God says, my house shall be called a house of prayer for all people. Listen, you know that when you're an empty nester and you start having grandchildren, you think a lot not only about your parenting journey and that of others you've known as you watch your children embark on their own. And reading this text, I thought about a moment in a parenting story of a woman I know who shall remain nameless. Now, everyone who has ever been or is currently engaged in raising children know that it is not for the faint of heart. Say amen, somebody. It's a blessing, and we wouldn't trade them. But it is also a journey filled with extreme highs and extreme lows. 1 minute they'll make you as happy as a bird in the sky. And the next they'll make you as mad as a stirred up nest of hornets. And sometimes they can do that off and on all day, every day. Do I have a witness in here? And that's especially true during teenage years. And one day, this woman that I'm talking about, her teenage daughter pushed her patience to the limit, because teenagers sometimes forget that their mouth needs a limit, amen. And after a heated exchange, that girl in classic teenage rebellion style, or as my mom and my daddy might say, she was feeling herself. You boys, they say, you're smelling yourself. And so she stormed off and she slammed the door to her room with the force of 1,000 complaints. Poor baby. She didn't know what she had done. And her mama, with that paradoxical calmness that sometimes comes with being exceptionally angry. Anybody know what I'm talking about? That kind of mad where your voice ain't raised. You're not fussing, you're not stomping. You just go quiet. This mother went quiet, and she quietly got up, went to the tool drawer, got a flathead screwdriver and a hammer, went to the slam door of that daughter's room and took the entire door off the hinges. Then she set it aside and stood in the now doorless entrance to that door-slamming daughter's room, whose eyes by this time were big as saucers, and said very calmly and quietly, "You want to slam doors? Then get your own. Because every door in this house belongs to me, and you don't slam my doors." Now, I know I suppose that doesn't qualify as what we might call gentle parenting, that trend in these days that emphasizes reinforcement and more open communication in child rearing, which of course is important. So towards those ends, gentle parenting would probably have knocked on the door and said something like, hey, whatever is going on with you, slamming the door is not okay. Open this door and let's talk about what you're feeling right now. By contrast, taking the door off the hinges, that's an OG move. Yeah, that's from back in the day playbook. That old school parenting that typically emphasized obedience and respect for authority first and talk later. And even in talking later, you better be careful because everything was not open for discussion. And I'm not here today to advocate for or condemn either, because having raised children, I've been a mixture of both. Looking back on my child rearing journey, all I can say that I truly know for certain about parenting, all I know without a shade of a doubt is that you love them, you do what you can for them, and even some that you can't, you try to keep your sanity and their sanity, make the most of what you got to work with, pray mightily, hold your breath, and just hope for the best. That's all I got. However, whether we prefer the mother in the story's method or not, we can say that she was effective in making her point. Her version of show and tell, I can show you better than I can tell you, made it crystal clear that when it came to her house, she was the ultimate authority over every door. And that's what God says to us. That's what God says to Israel. The house of prayer belongs to me. And because this is my house and I want to, I have taken the doors off the hinges so anybody who wants to can enter without anybody else thinking that they have the power to slam the door in their face and keep them out. God says, this is my house, and it is a house of prayer for all people. And if so, y'all stay with me. If it's a house of prayer for all people, then it follows that all who enter the house of prayer, all who would come into the presence of God, must do so with humility. Help me preach. Tell somebody, be humble. Be humble. You must do so with humility. A house of prayer for all people must be a space in which we are compelled to lay down our pride, our arrogance, and any preconceptions we may have about others, and acknowledge that in the presence of God, we are equally loved, we are equally valued, we are equally cherished. A house of prayer for all people is a place in the presence of God where there is no hierarchy of worth. There are no second-class citizens in the kingdom. You know, they aren't as popular as they used to be, but some churches still have fall and spring revivals around this time of year. And I remember how in the South, when it was time for revival, the front pew of the church was turned into what folk back then called the mourner's bench. Anybody remember that? And anyone who had not professed faith in Christ was invited, encouraged, and depending on who your mama was, made to sit on the mourner's bench, to be prayed for in the hope that your heart would be receptive to the message of the gospel and that you would profess Christ as Savior and be baptized. In some places, folks still do that. And there's nothing really wrong with that as long as we understand that in a house of prayer for all people, every pew is the mourner's bench. Every pew. A man is running for president who is on record saying, why should I ask for forgiveness if I haven't done anything wrong? The devil is a lie, and he sure ain't humble. If we say we have no sin, we lie, and the truth is not in us. All have sinned and come short of the glory of God. And in a house of prayer for all people, the mourner's bench stays full, but the seat of judgment is always empty. Nobody can look down on anybody else, because God has seen and does see all of us at our worst. We may not have been to a Diddy freak-off, some of y'all better not get sick, because he got all the oil. They had 1,000 bottles. May not have been to a Diddy freak-off, but you been off somewhere. You may as well say amen. Your struggle may not be my struggle, but we all got a struggle. Your weakness may not be my weakness, but poke around long enough and you'll find that we all got some weaknesses. A house of prayer for all people is a place in which no people can look down their noses at any people, because we are all people in need of the same merciful God. We all need God. Grace that saves us when we're lost. We all need God, the light that guides us along the path of righteousness. We all need God, the arms that we lean on when our strength is failing. We all need God, that hand that picks us up when we fall. We need God, the love that will stand by us when others have walked away, that shelter that hides us in the time of storm, that handkerchief that wipes the tears from our eyes, that voice that whispers in your soul, you can make it. It ain't over until I say it's over. We all need God. The hymn writer put it like this: I need thee. Oh, I need thee every hour. I need thee. Oh, bless me now, my Savior. I come to thee. We come to thee in humility, because even at our worst, you still call us. And if in humility we have to come to the house of prayer, then we must certainly also have to come in gratitude. A house of prayer for all people is a place of humility, but it's also a place of gratitude. Gratitude for the fact that there is one who invites us all into his presence, because he can handle all of us and all of our stuff. Amen. I'm grateful today that God will not turn away from us at our worst, because God desires to see us at our best. Amen. Can I remind myself and somebody else real quick this morning that all over the gospel we find Jesus always hanging around folk with a lot of stuff. Tax collectors and lepers and prostitutes and all kind of sinners and religious and social and cultural outcasts, all of those kind of folk that polite society avoids, they would be found in the vicinity of Jesus. If Jesus was in Trenton today, some of y'all would treat him like a dog because you think you are better than Jesus. Every time I hear somebody with a bad tan screaming about the border and all the stuff they accuse people trying to enter this country are bringing with them, I cannot help but be grateful that the Jesus I read about would have been meeting refugees at the border with food and hope rather than threatening them with deportation and rejection. I cannot help but be grateful that the Jesus I read about would be less interested in their documents and more interested in their dilemmas. I cannot help but be grateful that the Jesus I read about says, come here and come in. The door is off the hinges. The border is open. The wall is down. Come here. We can figure it out. Come, no matter who you are, no matter what you've done. I see your inherent worth, your inherent dignity. I see your potential. I'm not intimidated by your stuff. Everybody can't handle it, but I can handle it. I am open to an unfiltered and an unmasked relationship with you. I'm glad that in a house of prayer for all people, our brokenness, our shame, our sin does not turn Jesus off. In fact, those things make Jesus more interested in us. Didn't he say that the Son of Man has come to seek and to save that which is lost? And I'm humble and I'm grateful. And then, because I know this. I know y'all ready. I'm ready in a minute too. Amen. Because I'm humble and I'm grateful, I know that a house of prayer for all people must ultimately be a place of worship, because the God who invites us there invites us here. I love to hear when Reverend Baker says it. When he invites us here, that same God meets us here with grace and mercy and love and forgiveness, to transform us into who he would have us to be by pouring out his Spirit on all flesh. A house of prayer is a place of worship, because the God who calls us here, meets us here, hears us here, and will answer prayer. God will hear and answer prayer. Let me say it again. God will hear and answer prayer. God will hear and answer prayer. God will hear and answer prayer. I know that he does. How you know? He must do it. Because more than 2,000 years since Jesus walked the face of the earth, people are still testifying. I called on the Lord and I got an answer. Don't you know that it's out of answered prayer that we learned to preach the promises of God in Christ, saying, come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for my yoke is easy and my burden light. Don't you know that it's out of answered prayer that we learn to sing, the Lord will make a way somehow when beneath the cross I bow. My faith looks up to thee, thou Lamb of Calvary, Savior divine. Is out of answered prayer that we've learned to be a witness that Jesus purchased our salvation, and it was not an easy process either. He was wounded for our transgressions and bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and by his stripes we are healed. Out of answered prayer, we learn that all who enter the house of prayer, because the door is off the hinges, will sometimes raise the roof with their praises, saying, from the rising of the sun until the going down of the same, the name of the Lord is worthy to be praised. To God be the glory for the things he has done. And so let all the people praise him. Let all of them come to his holy mountain. Let them come with joy in this house of prayer and worship him. Let those who, like a eunuch, the world said was dry trees, that you would never produce anything, that you'd never bear fruit, won't you come and worship him? Let those who, like foreigners, that others said had no place, but were given a place in Jesus, let them come and worship him. Let the ones who were separated, shut out, dismissed, and disparaged by others, folk who thought that they were better than you, but you were brought in and accepted by Jesus, come and worship him. Let those who were once brokenhearted but found healing in the name of Jesus, come and worship him. Let those who walked in darkness but saw a great light in Jesus, come and worship him. Let those who were downtrodden and marginalized and oppressed but found justice and freedom in God's grace, come and worship him. Let those who felt unloved and unnoticed but discovered that they were cherished by an everlasting love, come and worship him. Let those who were weary and burdened but found rest and renewal in the presence of God, come and worship him. Let those who felt that they had no reason to live but were given a divine purpose and a divine mission and a divine calling, come and worship him. Let those who were once lost but are now found, come and worship him. Let those who have been broken but have been made whole, come and worship him. Let those who were once empty but now have been made full, come and worship him. Praise ye the Lord. Praise God in his sanctuary. Praise him in the firmament of his power. Praise him for his mighty acts. Praise him according to his excellent greatness. Praise him with the sound of the trumpet. Praise him with psaltery and harp. Praise him with timbrel and dance. Praise him with string instruments and organs. Praise him upon the loud cymbals. Praise him upon the house sounding cymbals. Let everything, let every humble thing, let every grateful thing, let all people in this house of prayer, in this house of worship, let everything that have breath praise the Lord. Worship him. He's worthy to be praised. Oh, come on. If God has answered you some prayers, worship him. If God has been in your sick room, worship him. If God has blessed your family, worship him. If God has lifted your head, worship him. If God has helped you find your way, worship him. He's worthy to be praised. Oh, take the brakes off, take the brakes off. Hadn't God been good to you? Hadn't God been good to you? Hadn't God answered prayer for you? Worship him. Thank you, God. Thank you. Thank you. And can I tell you, you don't have to worship him just because of what he's already done. Worship him for what you need, because he's already done what he said he would do. If you need it, God is still in the blessing business. God is still able. Worship him. The door is already open. If there's anybody here, just as you are, whoever you are, however you are, this is a house of prayer for all people. Do you have the humility just to acknowledge, I need the Lord. I need to be anchored in a place of fellowship and worship. Do you have the gratitude that thanks God for how he's kept you and brought you to this moment? If that's you, wherever you are, start walking, start walking, start walking. If you don't want to walk, raise your hand. I'll come to you. I'll come to you. Come on, Brother Deacons. Come on, come on, come on. Amen. God bless you. God bless you. Come on, y'all take it. Go ahead. God, take these. Take these. Yeah, you good. I'll come to you. I'll come to you. I'll come to you. I'll come to you. He's here.
There is a
Come on to the altar. He is here. He is here. Come on, come on, come on. He is here. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm going to ask some people, I think, are under the impression that come to the altar indicates some particular need. But whether you have a particular need or not, you need God if you're going to see your next minute. And if you don't mind, and if there are no other considerations, and you have the strength, come. He is here. Dr. Langley, come on. He is here. Let them come. The ones who thought they were fruitless, but God made something beautiful out of your life. Thank you, Lord. The ones folks said wouldn't amount to anything, but God has brought you through everything. Thank you, Lord. He's here. He's here. He's here. He's here. He will never leave you nor forsake you. He's here. Every morning, He's there. Every moment, He's there. This is a house of prayer for all people. Nothing about you intimidates God. Nothing. And I promise you that because He is here, in His own way, in His own day, God will bring you through. God will bring you out. Every head bowed. And the first thing I want you to do is just take a minute and be your own prayer warrior. I must tell Jesus all of my trials. I cannot bear these burdens alone. I must tell Jesus, Jesus can help me. Jesus alone. Tell him all about it. Because he's here. Now, Reverend Dr. Lately will lead us in corporate prayer because God is here.
He is here. Yes, God. He is here to break every yoke. To break every yoke. And heal the brokenhearted. He is here. Yes. He is here. The first act of prayer is surrender. The first act of prayer is surrender. I want everybody to lift your hands up to Almighty God. Lift your hands high. They say when you lift your hands, you release your heart. And sometimes we're holding so many things in our heart that God wants to release your heart. Because if you can go to God and tell God what's in your heart, God will move and God will do what you ask God to do. Because what? God is here. He's here. He hears your every prayer. As Reverend Spencer said, sometimes you just say, fix it, Jesus. Sometimes you just say, heal me, Jesus. Sometimes you just say, God, I need you. God, I love you. God, I exalt you. God, I praise you. God, I worship you. Lift your hands to the Lord. Lift your hands to the Lord. He's here. God is here. Lift your hands to the Lord. Lift your hands to the Lord. Just wave your hands in the air. God is here. When the praises go up, the blessings come down. Open your hands and lift your hands to the Lord. God, I need you. God, I worship you. God, I thank you. God, I worship you. God, I praise you. God, I honor you. God, I exalt you. God, I lift your name above every name. God, I thank you for my healing. God, I thank you for my blessings. God, I thank you for looking after my children. God, I thank you for praying for my husband. God, I thank you for praying for my wife. God, I thank you for praying for my nana, my grandmother. God, I thank you for praying for my cousins in another state. God, I thank you and I praise you, God. Lift your hands. God, thank you for my healing. Thank you for blessing me, God. Thank you for God for the job. God, thank you for putting food on my table. God, for taking a roof over my head. God, thank you for putting clothes on my back. Thank you, God, for looking after me when I didn't know how to look after myself. God, thank you for the tears. God, thank you for the joy. God, thank you for the laughter. Thank you, God. Raise your hands to the Lord. Hallelujah, God. We thank you, God. We praise you, God. We know you're here, God. You're here, God. You're here. You're working it for our good, God. Thank you. Hallelujah, God. Praise your name, Jesus. Hallelujah. He's here. He's here. Keep your hands open. The blessings are coming down. The deliverance is coming down. Everything that you need, God's got it. Everything that you need, God has it. Hallelujah. 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 Thank you, God, for the prayers that are lifted and the prayers that were not lifted, for the answered prayers, and God, for the prayers that have not even come yet. Oh, God, we thank you. We praise you, God. We lift your name, God. Hallelujah. Glory to your name, Jesus. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. We bless you, God. We bless you, God. We bless you, God. When the praises go up, the blessings come down. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah to your name. Hallelujah to your name, God. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. He's here. He's here. The Spirit of the Lord is here. The Spirit, get your blessing. The Spirit of the Lord is here. The Spirit of the Lord is here. The Spirit of the Lord is here. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Thank you, God. The Spirit of the Lord is here. The Spirit of healing is here. The Spirit of blessings is here. The Spirit of freedom is here. Hallelujah. Thank you, God. Hallelujah. Thank you, God. And let all the people of God say amen, amen, and amen.
We're ready to go. We're ready to go. Every head bowed. I need thee. Oh, I need thee. Every hour I need thee. Oh, bless me now, my Savior. Here we are, God. I come to thee. One more time, anybody need him? Oh, I need thee. Oh, I need thee. Every hour, every minute, every second, every hour, every day. Oh, I need thee. Anybody need a blessing from the Lord? Oh, bless me now, my Savior. I come to thee. Just one more time, because we need him for real. Oh, I need thee. Oh, I need thee every hour. Yeah, every hour, Lord, I need thee. Come on and bless me. Bless my family. Bless my going in. Bless my coming out. God, bless me. Bless me now, my Savior. I come. Now say your name. Simeon comes to thee. And may the grace of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, the love of God, the sweet communion and fellowship of the Holy Spirit rest, rule, and abide with us now, henceforth, and forever. Oh, bless me now, my Savior. Thank you, God. Thank you.